We're joined now by David Hawkings, the editor of the CQ Roll Call Daily Briefing, for more on this fascinating, at least in my mind, story. All right, David, let's go. We know kind of where we are right now, but let's look. I'm always an around the corner guy. It's my old roll call days. I like to look around the corner a little bit. Do we think that this $4 trillion proposal has any possibility of going anywhere, or is this just members wanting to be on the record, as a congressman said, that we need to go big?
I think that it has as much chance of succeeding as going small, maybe even a tiny bit bigger chance of succeeding than going small. But I'd say the chance either way is at least as long as what that poll shows, you know, at least one in, at best, maybe 1 in 3. You know, the 24% that still think there's a chance for this, I mean, you know, 18% believe in the birther movement and 30% believe in ghosts, so maybe they're as skeptical as the rest of us.
There's people who still believe Elvis is alive. There's always a few.
That's right. But I do think that there is a sense in Congress that the political pain involved just to get to that $1.2 trillion is almost as big a political pain as getting to the $4 trillion. So if they're going to get to anything, it may well be big. And
do they get to anything? You know, I feel like we just went through the debt ceiling, and I'm going to call it a debacle because that's what public opinion suggests. That's how people saw it. A pox on both your houses. President Obama took a hit. Congress, including Republicans, took a hit. Are there lessons learned? Do they look back and say, well, we don't want to repeat that? Because it certainly seems we're, 20 days away now. It certainly doesn't seem like a deal is in the offing.
Right. Well, despite the debacle, and I think it's almost objectively you can describe it as a debacle.
Okay, I feel good. You've affirmed me.
What that other poll number showed was that the Republicans, despite that debacle, are winning the argument. They might not be winning the day, but they're winning the argument. The all-cut, no tax revenue argument seems to be the one that's more persuasive to the public. Now, that having been said, Speaker Boehner just a few minutes ago said something really interesting, which was Grover Norquist, the anti-tax crusader. He was derisive almost of Grover Norquist in his weekly press conference. He called him just some random individual in America when he was asked whether Republicans should be scared if they're going to break this no new taxes pledge. So that seems to kick the door open just a little bit to the notion that the Republicans might go for some new revenue.
And the thing I always struggle with is dividing it between how much of this is legitimate philosophical policy disagreements that we know the parties have, and how much of this is the fact that we're almost turning the calendar to 2012 in an election year.
Oh, it's at least 50-50. I mean, I think that the Democrats still think they have an outside chance of taking back the House if they play this right, and that saying no to offending their base with deep cuts in Medicare and Medicaid benefits is a good thing. And obviously the Republicans think that they have a really good chance of holding on and expanding their control in Congress if they're hardliners on.
In a classic case where what President Obama might want in terms of a deal is not necessarily the same thing that House and Senate Democrats want.
Absolutely right, which is why President Obama's name isn't even really coming up this week.
Not that involved. David Hawkings, whose name always comes up. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.